I'm sitting here in my apartment in Brooklyn, Williamsburg specifically. The rent I can barely afford, but pretend I can because everyone here does the same thing, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm the villain in my own story, or if I just walked into someone else's trap. Either way, I'm screwed. Either way, everything's different now. Let me back up. My name's Hailey. I'm at that weird age where you're supposed to have your life together, but you're really just faking it fresh out of college, working a job that barely covers subway fare and overpriced coffee, living off instant ramen and the occasional free lunch from work events. You know, peak American dream stuff. My best friend, since sophomore year at NYU, is Madison. We met in some god-awful 8 a.m. philosophy class in Greenwich Village, where neither of us belonged, bonded over hating the pretentious guy who always interrupted the professor, and became inseparable. Madison's family is from Westchester, this gorgeous suburb north of the city. Her dad, Richard. Yeah, Richard, like some Wall Street finance guy from a movie, is one of those dads who aged like wine instead of milk. You know the type. Salt and pepper hair, works out every morning, wears expensive watches, drives a Tesla, has that whole I run marathons and read the Wall Street Journal energy. Her mom, Patricia, is nice but cold, like she's always performing being a wife, always at yoga, always at brunch with other moms, always somewhere that isn't home. Madison moved to Chicago for some marketing job right after graduation. We kept in touch, but distance is distance. She'd invited me up to her parents' house a bunch of times, when we were in school holidays, random weekends, summer hangouts by their pool. Richard was always friendly, maybe too friendly, but in that way where you can't quite call it out because technically he's just being nice, right? Compliments that last a second too long. Eye contact that feels like a handshake you can't escape from. Asking about my major, my plans, my feelings about things, while Madison scrolled on her phone. But I never thought twice. He was my friend's dad. That's the wall, that's the line. Until Madison asked me to do her a favor. She called me in early October, sounded stressed. Her parents were going on some 2-week European river cruise thing because of course they were, and she needed someone to check on the house while they were gone. Water the plants, grab the mail, make sure nothing weird happened. Simple. I said yes immediately because honestly, a quiet house in Westchester sounded like a vacation compared to my shoebox apartment, where I can hear my neighbor's entire life through the walls. Madison sent me the garage code and said her dad left a spare key under the ceramic turtle by the front steps. She said he'd already left for the airport with her mom early that morning. So I drove up that Saturday afternoon in my beat-up Honda that makes a noise I can't afford to investigate. The house was as perfect as I remembered. Big colonial with the white shutters, the manicured lawn, the kind of driveway that fits 4 cars. I grabbed the key, let myself in, and it smelled like expensive candles and coffee. I watered the plants, checked the mail, took some Instagram photos by the pool for content I'd never post. I was about to leave when I heard the garage door open. Richard walked in. I jumped. He laughed, like I was a deer, and he thought it was cute. "Hailey, sorry, didn't mean to scare you. I thought you were in Europe." He shook his head, setting down his gym bag. He was in a fitted black t-shirt and joggers. "Last-minute work thing. I had to stay back. Patricia went without me." He said her name like it tasted boring. "Didn't Madison tell you?" "No." "Ah, well, typical." He smiled. "Glad you're here, though. Saves me from talking to an empty house." I laughed because what else do you do? But something felt off. Not dangerous, just off. "You hungry?" he asked, opening the fridge. I was gonna order Thai. I should have left. I should have said no, but I didn't. That's how it started. Innocent, too innocent. He ordered food. We ate in the huge dining room that felt more like a museum than a home. He asked about my life, my job, my apartment, my love life, well, lack of one. He listened like I was the only person in the world, not like a dad, like a man. And I felt it, the shift. When I got up to leave, he asked if I could come back the next day. "Just to check on things," he said. "Plus, I could use the company." I said sure. The next day, he asked me to help him move some boxes in the garage. then help him organize the basement. Then help him pick out a gift for Patricia online, which felt like the weirdest, most uncomfortable thing. But I did it because I didn't know how to say no without sounding paranoid. By the third day, he wasn't even pretending. "Can you help me with something upstairs?" My stomach dropped. I knew what this was turning into. And the worst part? I still followed him. He led me to his bedroom. Not Madison's. Not the guest room. His. "I'm redecorating," he said casually, like that explained everything. "Patricia hates this wall color. What do you think? Too dark?" I stared at the wall. It was navy blue. It was fine. It's nice. He stepped closer. "You have good taste." I could feel his breath. "Richard, I should stay," he said. Soft, almost a whisper. Just for a minute. I should have run. I should have screamed. I should have called Madison right there, but I didn't. I stood there, frozen, while he told me I was beautiful. Told me he noticed me years ago. Told me his marriage was dead and I made him feel alive again. Told me all the things a married man says when he's about to ruin your life. And I let him kiss me. I let him pull me onto that bed. I let it happen. It went on for 5 days. 5 days of me driving up to Westchester pretending I was just checking the house. 5 days of him texting me. Things I couldn't unsee. 5 days of me becoming the other woman in a situation I never asked for but somehow walked into anyway. Then Patricia came home early. She didn't catch us. But Madison called me, confused, saying her mom mentioned I'd been coming by a lot, asking why. I lied. Said I loved the pool. Said the city was stressful. Said I needed quiet space to work. Madison believed me, but I can't breathe anymore. Richard texts me every day. Says he misses me. Says we need to talk. Says he'll leave Patricia if I ask. I blocked him. But here's the thing I can't admit to anyone else. Part of me doesn't want to. Part of me liked it. Liked feeling wanted. Liked the attention. Liked breaking the rule. And that's what makes me sick. Madison still doesn't know. Patricia still doesn't know. And I'm sitting here wondering if I'm a homewrecker or a victim, or both, or neither. What would you do? Am I wrong?